I'm a big fan of the folk horror periodical Hellebore, and a few months back on a flying visit to Glastonbury, I picked up a copy of the Hellebore Guide to Occult Britain, which I've been meaning to buy for a while. Basically a kind of travel guide to some weird and wonderful locations throughout this island. Anyway, in the section on Northwest, I found Caverns, which is not far away from where I grew up, and only a couple of miles from where my family now live. As a kid, I'd heard various spooky stories about Caverns, and also how they were dangerous and supposedly off limits to explorers. So, as you do, one day in the Easter holidays we decided to take a look. Crank is a hamlet about 4 miles north of St Helens town centre. It's not the most accessible place if you don't drive, but there is an hourly bus service from the town centre, and where you can find the public footpath that leads up to the caverns. But be advised, the caverns themselves are on private land and are dangerous. I think so, yeah. I'll have a look. Crank Caverns, or Rainford Delft Quarry to give it its formal name, Rainford being the nearest village, are the remains of mine workings used to extract sandstone. The quarry was reputedly active from the early 16th century, and the network of tunnels and caverns is claimed to extend for several miles. Exactly how far the tunnels extend and how much of the system is man-made versus natural caves, such as those formed by underground streams, seems to be a matter of speculation. People have explored some of the system over the years, but they are dangerous and several attempts have been made to seal off some of the passages or backfill them with material to prevent access. It is a matter of public record that the cellars of the former Stock Hotel in Billinge, around 2 miles away, have sealed off entrances into a tunnel network. It has been claimed these tunnels connect into the same network as Crank Caverns, along with some other local places. It's the infamous Crank Caverns. Can't really see far down there. I don't want to go in there. Lots of rubbish.
Hey, no.
Come on, Maisie. We don't want to go down there. You never come back out alive. The little men inside, like dwarves. There's all kinds of stories about this place.
So, what was it? Like, was it the mine?
Yeah, so it was a quarry, it was mine workings, it was a quarry, Delft Quarry. But I think there's, well, I don't think it's clear whether or not it's all man-made or whether there are caves, natural caves and caverns under there. So it was definitely a quarry, definitely a mine working. There's all kinds of stories, like before Catholic emancipation there was a story that they used to say mass down there when, when being Catholic was forbidden. But there's all kinds of stories, like they said that there's caverns and tunnels that run for miles. It's been claimed that some of the caverns apparently stretch as far over to Billinge. It's interesting. But I heard they'd kind of sealed off some of them to stop people from exploring and people getting lost. It is also rumoured that the tunnel network was used to shelter Catholic priests during the time the religion was suppressed prior to Catholic emancipation. There's probably some truth in this. The area is part of the historic county of Lancashire, which was a hotbed of recusancy, and the Great Famine and the rise of the Industrial Revolution saw large numbers of Irish Catholics settle in the region. Birchley Hall in Billinge was known to be the site of an illegal Catholic printing press. So, on balance, tunnels and buildings in this area probably were used for illicit religious activities, although it's also likely that some of this has been mythologized or exaggerated. A little bit steep here. Oh. It is known that the tunnels were used as an ammunition dump during the Second World War, but beyond that the tales get taller. There are claims that the system contains a sunken church, which may be a Catholic church, or possibly a satanic church, or possibly something entirely different. There are rumours of children disappearing over the centuries, of Boy Scouts going missing, of explorers getting lost and never returning, of human bones being found exhibiting signs of cannibalism, of ghosts, including that of the Catholic martyr Saint Edmund Arrowsmith, obligatory mystery monks, and strange dwarf-like creatures roaming around ruined caves. Evidence for all this stuff is of course thin on the ground. However, there is plenty of modern evidence of people using the outer caverns for having a good time. So perhaps some of this is down to the consumption of mind-altering substances, spirits of a different kind. Besides, and I'm being slightly snidey now, I'd argue if you want to find troglodytes in a ruined landscape, you'd be better off sticking to St Helens town centre. That's it, the infamous Crank Caverns. Now we just need to work out what's the fastest way back to Billinge. Anyway, that's it from the northwest for the time being. I think the next video will be Pevensey Castle at the other end of England, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching.